So you guys know I don't know how to play the piano. I'm a singer-songwriter, okay? On my last podcast, I explained to you, musicians can play music. You put them in front of an instrument, they're gonna make music. So people, when they come to my open houses, especially, they say, no, you know how to play. No, I really don't know. I play the blacks, ready? Play the blacks, and I throw in a white every once in a while, like this, ready? Check this out. So I'm just throwing in a couple whites in there. It sounds really good. Now I try to explain to people. Now I don't know if every musician is the same, but I play beats. I play rhythms. Like I'll hear like something like this. You know, I'll be like, all right, that's cool. I'll be like, whatever. But I'm playing rhythms and beats. And you can play any notes when you do that. So you give me any instrument, I'm gonna find a way to make music on it. And it's gonna sound like I've been playing the thing for years. No, I'm just playing comfortably within rhythms and beats. I think everything in life is about getting confident in order to make it seem seamless. And if you work at things long enough, it becomes possible to reach that plateau. Most people are not willing to put the time, energy, and effort in order to understand that about themselves. It took me 18 years to realize I had a musical bone in my body. First 18 years of my life, I wasn't into music at all. I was into sports. I had parents. My father played football. My brother played football. Brother played basketball. Brother played basketball. I played baseball, basketball, soccer. I was full force sports until I went and bought my first guitar at 18 years old. And from there, it exploded. The creativity within me exploded. And what started with one song turned into 100 plus songs. And a lot of songs that you may have heard if you ever watched the Real World or Paris Hilton's The Simple Life 1 or 2, you may have heard one of my songs there. And that's when they used to use my music before I retired from the scene and got married, had children, and started trying to support my family. You know, I always joked that you could be the most talented musician in the world, but unless you're Bono or John Mayer or someone who's in the limelight making tons of money, you're either broke or you're the richest guy in the world. There's no in between with musicians. So this is why I hung up the guitar 10 years ago and decided to start real estate and put my focus my energy into this and my passion into this, helping people find a home, sell a home. It's amazing how, to me, I'm doing this as it's my career. It's just not a job. This is my career. I love what I do. I help people. But the interesting thing is, I help people wherever I can be. I'm put into this role, and I'm helping people in this form. The way I can is I'm helping them sell their house. I'm helping them buy their house. I'm taking the stress out of it for them. I'm making it an easier process. We get along. We communicate clearly with each other. There's no facades being put up. We're open and honest with each other, and that's how good relationships are built. But I find in general, that's not the way it is. A lot of people are not following that same tact. They're doing what they want. Again, it's like the wild, wild west. And so basically, when I decided to go into real estate, I put the music on hold. And I differentiated within my real estate career. I was, doing the drone. I was the first guy to do a drone. That was a big deal. In 2013, no one in Fairfield County had thought of doing drone aerial photography. And the short story is someone put a flyer in at our office for $350. You can be on the list and he'll shoot your property from a helicopter. And you have to wait 2 weeks. And I said to myself, I think I was like 33 at the time. I was like, what? Hello? 34. Well, I'm going to be doing this for another 30 years. I'm going to hire a guy every time I need a drone. I need an aerial shot. $350 later. Or, I mean, at the time it was very expensive, but I bought a drone. I figured to myself, I don't need to wait for anybody. I can provide that footage to my clients immediately. I could take it that day and have it online right afterwards. And I get to control the angles. And I think that's the most important thing. I remember when I got the drone and I was on TV, I had a couple of news interviews because no one had done it, and it became a big deal in 2013 on Fox News and on Channel 8 News and Channel 12 News, and the papers, all the papers in the state ran something on it as well because it became massive. The whole thing with the FAA, they didn't want people flying their drones around and charging money for it. My workaround was I was charging nothing. It was part of my service. Hey, I'm the first guy to do this. It's free of charge. I bring my drone. We shoot great photos of your property. And again, my perspective is you need to create a better consumer experience. And most people online, they spend 3 to 4 seconds on a photo. And if they don't like that first shot, they go to the next property. Well, I got to get them to that next photo. That was my first mentality. I want to get them from that first photo onto the second shot. We got to sell this property. So I got a drone. I remember my wife said, you're giving everybody the idea. And she's right, but it was coming out anyway. It's not like I could have kept that to myself. The whole world was on drones 6 months later anyway. So I just was slightly ahead of the curve before everybody else in this area. But that was a big deal. And I said to her, it's okay. Let everybody go out and buy a drone. That doesn't mean they have an eye. You need to have both. You need to have a drone and an eye. I know people that have drones, they have no idea how to get good footage. They don't know how to fly it. I've been flying my drone since 2013. Do you know I get between branches when I'm like centimeters away from a branch? I'm just so comfortable flying my drone. I know how to wield the controller. I know how to take it slightly in and get that perfect angle. And there are tons of professionals that are doing the same thing. But the average guy who's a real estate agent and says, I'm going to go buy a drone because Mark went and bought a drone, go ahead. You still have to figure out how to have this. You need to have an eye. If you're not an artist, you just can't get there. You won't know what the people want to see. There's a feeling that we get. I think any artist that's watching this will say, yes, yes. There's a feeling that we get when we know we're onto something. It burns inside of us artists. There's a passion I think we all have that's like so much, it's so removed from everything else that we all know of. This passion that these artists feel in general. But there's this general, you can't put your finger on it, but you know deep within you that it is true and you need to just go for it. And that's basically how Real Talk started. I started this, and now I've got this burning inside of me that every day I've got to get on and talk. And I got to just share what I'm thinking about whatever. I don't come on here and say I'm going to talk about X. I do in a way. I came on here to specifically tell you about episode 11 of the podcast. And we now have gone on for 8 minutes about something else. I don't know. But to get to the topic of the day, I don't know what's going on with my cameraman. It's not really a cameraman. I have like one of those setups so I can actually, rock out and walk around and have it perfectly, stabilized. Anyway, I'll make this quick. Episode 11 of Mark Pires Real Talk Podcast is live on the iTunes store. You need to download and subscribe. Download this episode specifically. It's nothing like any other episode I put out there. And that's not necessarily a great thing because it's the first episode where, and it's not negative, but the topic is negative. And the topic is the internet. The topic is this new thing that you may have heard of called the MOMO challenge and how it needs to stop. And I have children, and I found out about this thing. I asked my child about it, and she says, oh yeah, I saw that. My daughter saw it. She wouldn't have said a word to me until I brought it up. Then she said, oh yeah, I saw that, Daddy. Oh yeah, and it asked me this. This thing tries to get you to kill yourself. Children. I think we need to do something about this as a society. We need to stand up because I tell you guys on the podcast last night, every single generation from our parents to us, from us to the next generation, it's been leaps and bounds. The technological advancements, the changes in societal structure, the parenting, the way we parent now, it's completely wild, wild west. Completely. We have amazing kids, but this tech that that Bill Gates let the children have it, that should tell us everything. My wife played me something earlier, Steve Jobs, 2011 or whatever it was. They said, Steve, your kids must really love the new iPhones and iPads. He says, we don't let those in our house. We don't let them in our house. The guy who created it. I'm seeing it with my eyes. 10-year-old, 9-year-old, there's subtle changes. I see faces in a screen instead of faces in a book. That's got to change. So that's what episode 11 is about. And please go to iTunes, subscribe, download it. By the end of this week, I heard from Anchor, you should be able to catch the Mark Pires Real Talk podcast on every single podcast platform there is. So I hope you're enjoying what you're getting here from you guys. I'm putting my soul out there for you. There's no, I don't know. I'm not going to let anything hold me back anymore. And you shouldn't let anything hold you back. Protect the people you love. I'm here to protect my kids. That scares the hell out of me. That I have no control over what they see online. And that somebody can hack into a game they're playing or a show on YouTube Kids and put this thing in there and cause them to stress themselves out. I had my son tell me that he heard someone stab themselves in the head because MOMO told them to do it or they'd kill their parents. My 10-year-old should not be having a visualization of somebody stabbing themselves in the head. They're too young for that. Come on, whoever's doing this, are you kidding me? Going after children, I can only see it's like a terrorist. Who would ever go after children unless it's somebody who has no soul and is trying to create terror? But whatever it is, guys, it's got to stop. It's got to change. And it's up to you. It's up to me. And I'm going to do my part. I'll be on every single day for my daily vlog here. And I'm basically doing a podcast every day. I mean, that's happening. I'm on a podcast 11 in 2 weeks. I got 12. I recorded 12 on Friday. But last night's was so powerful that I had to put that one out first. Last night became 11. And the one I'm like Quentin Tarantino. I'm doing Pulp Fiction. I released 12 as 11 and 11 will be as number 12. I don't know if they coincide at all. I don't remember what I said on Friday. I go on and I just talk, guys. I let it all out. I let it all out of me. I'm not holding it anymore. I mean, what is the point? I'm sitting here at my open house right now. I'm waiting for people to show up to buy this property. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm sitting here waiting. In our whole lives, we're just waiting for things to happen. We've got to go out and somehow make things happen. I'm here to try to make things happen with Real Talk. What is this? It's quiet. It's a Sunday. It's beautiful out. Beautiful house. Amazing property. Hello? Thank God there's a piano here, because I could just hang out and play piano all day. So I'm going to play something for you guys. Anybody who does listen to the podcast, I mentioned my grandpa's organ. And actually, if you listen to episode 10, you're going to hear 2 tracks. One of them is me playing my grandpa's organ in the background of one of my original songs that I never released. And this is the first time anybody's ever heard that song. And then I played also a song I wrote the night before my wedding called Wedding Day. I think it's bar none like the greatest wedding song. Just the lyrics they came out of me. Just like these words come out of me for you guys. Those words on wedding day came out of me at 1:30 in the morning, the night before my wedding, in 5 minutes. I just flew, it just came right out. And I played it at my wedding for my wife, and it's on my wedding video. I've got to find that and play it for you guys. I think that would be pretty cool to see. Although it was probably pretty rough because I had just written it, and I was reading off the paper while I'm playing. But anyway, it's an amazing song, and I played my grandpa's harmonica on that. And I always think, as a musician, there's certain things, lineage, like my box star, Thierry Arpino, posted this amazing photo the other day of his grandfather, his father. This whole family were drummers and musicians. And he's this phenomenal drummer. And it's just through the timeline, they're all just amazing musicians. And he's got to have a pride that's just unbelievable for that, because I have this pride for my grandpa, who I don't remember tremendously because I was 7 when he passed away. But he played everything by ear like me. He would just find an instrument and just make music on it. And he'd play organ, he played harmonica, accordion, and I have all of his instruments. And I've got his organ in my basement, and I've got 2 or 3 of his harmonicas. But the one on wedding day I'm playing is this really cool chromatic harmonica it's this beautiful looking harmonica too. It's really gorgeous. And so I got to play that. And so it's really special for me to play my grandpa's, instruments in my music. And I wish I had a chance. I wish he was alive to have seen me create music because he was so passionate about music. But hopefully he's looking down and he's listening to some of these things and hearing some of the music. But I actually wrote a song that reminded me of the stuff I used to hear him play. I'm going to play it for you guys real quick on the way out. And he was just such a happy man. And again, this is what I remember him as a 7-year-old, such a happy man. And he used to play really jolly music on the organ. And this is, I swear, like he played this. This is what I don't know. I'm hoping that that he came through me with this, because I feel like this is something I heard as a kid that he was playing. And it goes like this. Are you guys ready for this? So it's totally European sounding, and this is like Portugal 101 right here. At least that's the way it seems like to me. What happened there? Hello, are you guys still there? All right, I don't know what happened there. Got disconnected on the YouTube, but we're back. So let me play you Grandpa's song, or at least that's what I'm calling it. I'm going to call this Francisco's Journey. Ready? Ready? Here we go. Ready? 2, 3, 4. I keep messing up that end part, but something like that. But that's what I reminded, is like this part. I'm not playing it right, guys, but it's got sort of that feel to it. Totally reminds me of my grandpa. And so I wish I knew how to play, but I just take it and I roll with it. Just look, I'm here just to have some fun at an open house while I'm waiting for people to come. All right, I'm going to play you one of that piece I was messing around with before on the way out here. The next couple seconds before we call this a day. It's Mark Pires and his Real Talk. See, now you do believe me that I don't know how to play the piano. It's Mark Pires. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. And it's Real Talk.